Guys, welcome back to the Lucky 7's podcast. We got a lot to talk about today.
We have a special guest.
It's
a secret.
Get excited.
He'll be coming here soon.
We're doing it a little differently. Yeah, we don't. We're doing it a little differently today because we feel like having the special guest be the center of attention is really what the focus we're trying to get.
Yeah, so we have a specific segment for this person.
Yeah,
talking about just them, in their lives.
A lot to talk about there.
A lot to talk about.
But first, we had a few comments on our podcast, and we wanted to address them. So first, we want to give some backstory into who we are as people.
In the first two episodes, we really didn't go into who we are. We just talked about sports.
And you probably know who we are a little bit now from watching the podcast.
Yeah.
But we really want to describe ourselves and our backstory. So first, I'm Matthew Langlois. I go to Valhalla High School. And I played football and basketball. I'm graduating this year, so I will not be playing football and basketball anymore. I'm going to Indiana University, where I will not be playing a sport. But I will probably be playing club. I love to play spike ball and stuff like that, so I'll probably be playing club spike ball. And yeah, I've always loved sports, and to be able to just talk about sports for an hour every once in a while, it's like a dream come true. So I appreciate this podcast, and I appreciate all the viewers that have been very supportive of the podcast.
It's good to hear, Matt. So my name is Fabian Resiga. I'm a senior at Valhalla High School also. I played baseball during high school, a little bit of JV basketball.
It was not the best time. 0 points per game.
A couple of rebounds.
0.0.
A couple assists.
0 for 10 against Dobbs Ferry.
Majoring in finance. I'm not playing a sport in college, but I'll also probably play club baseball.
You might walk on.
I might walk on.
Lefty pitcher.
We'll see. I also love spike ball. Me and Matt had some great spike ball times.
Big spike ball guys.
Our guest also loves spike ball. We have played with that guy.
He loves football too, just so you know.
He's looking the other way for some reason, really shy. Okay.
No, look back the other. We don't want to look at you.
Right. Look away. Look away. It's not a good time to shine yet. Okay, and I've also always wanted to make a podcast. Love listening to podcasts. Love sports, and I feel like this is just great for a school project, and it's fun.
Shout out to Sports Center. Not that they need this.
Shout out to Sports Center. Pat McAfee.
Yeah, it's Pat McAfee. Shout out to him.
Championship.
Huge inspiration for us. We'll be talking about some championships today.
We will.
Let's talk about some championships first. It's not how we have it on the list, but Birmingham Southern.
No,
we talked about them first podcast.
The Miracle in Birmingham.
The Miracle in Birmingham. Greatest story in sports right now.
They're going defeated Denison 7-6.
No. But they didn't just defeat Denison. This story, I didn't think it could get any better. I didn't think this story was going to get crazier.
Either.
9 on the morning of the game before the national championship against Denison. 9 guys on the team wake up with food poisoning.
No,
just to add to the craziness in Birmingham. 9 people wake up with food poisoning. 2 are hospitalized.
Oh my god.
2 are in the hospital in the morning of the game.
This is a sick joke.
And guess what? They beat Denison 7-6 through all of it.
Jesus. That just shows how much heart these guys have.
And it's destiny.
It's just destiny.
They are not going to lose. They are going to win the national championship because it's what was intended to happen.
I believe it. They're the Lisan Al-Gaib.
It's the way it was written. The Lisan Al-Gaib.
Exactly. If you guys get that, you get it.
I have Paul Moore
Okay. All right. So, Birmingham Southern, we are just... How can you not be a fan of those kids?
How can you not be romantic about Birmingham Southern?
Exactly.
Just fun to watch.
Now, let's go to the MLB scores from yesterday, Matt, shall we?
I think we should do it. I think you should start off.
Okay, so the Dodgers staying red hot, win both games of the doubleheader against the Mets. The first one 5-2 with a Shohei Ohtani 2-run home run in the 9th inning, or the 10th inning. It was just great to watch. I was at dinner with the baseball team, and we saw it. It got really electrifying in there. And they won the next game 3-0.
Shout out to Joshua Wolfson.
If he is listening right now and would like to be on the podcast, send us an email.
We would love to have you. We might pay.
We might.
We would be willing to. But don't tell anyone.
So Boston beat the red hot Orioles 8-3. Rafael Devers 4-hit game.
Great game from him. I had Orioles money line. So
yes, bad day to have Orioles money line.
I thought it was a lock. But
I had them on the way.
Yeah,
really messed up.
You gotta have them. It's Orioles against the Red Sox.
Hey, Matt, tell these guys about the next couple games.
So the Cardinals beat the Reds 7-1. Crushed the Reds.
Blowout.
Athletics beat the Rays 3-0. Great pitching from Mitch Spence, Michael Kelly, TJ McFarland, and star closer Mason Miller. A great all-around game for the pitchers.
Mason Miller's having a year.
0 points from the Rays.
Runs.
Mason Miller, whatever, same thing. Mason Miller, another great game. Love to see the run he's been on this year. He's been amazing. Braves shut out the Nationals. Jake Irvin, 10 strikeout start. We don't have a score on that one, but it was a shutout, just so you know. If that helps. So obviously the Braves won. Yeah. Blue Jays beat the White Sox 7-2.
They did. The Cubs beat the Brewers 6-3. Ben Brown absolutely shoved for the Cubs. 7 no-hit innings with 10 Ks.
Throwing absolute cheddar.
He's throwing some cheddar, that kid.
Absolute cheddar.
Twins beat the Royals 4-2. And Rangers beat the D-backs 4-2. Everyone's beating teams 4-2 today, I guess.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Corey Seager had a 3 RBI home run.
Love to see it.
Name spelled wrong on the paper, but
okay.
That's fine. Rangers beat the Rockies 13-7. Absolutely high-scoring game.
20 runs.
Josh Naylor, 5 ribbies, 2 home runs. I'm not a fan of him. Really showboated against the Yankees last year.
Screw that guy.
He's a baby, but
all right, let's go away from offense. Let's get into some defense. Padres shut out the Marlins 4-0 behind a masterful start from Matt Waldron, because his name's Matt, so obviously he's gonna be great. I mean, come on. Mariners beat Trastros 4-2. They cheated and they still lost. Giants beat Phillies 1-0.
Great pitching for both those squads, man.
Just if you like defense, you should have watched that game.
And these Yankees are losing to these awful Angels 4-3. How are we losing, guys? Mm-hmm. It's the Angels.
Is Mike Trout even playing?
No, he is playing. He's good. But there's no Shohei. What? Yeah. They suck. They suck. Taylor Ward on the Angels has a clutch 2-run double in the 8th.
Yankees are having a good year.
They're having a good year.
Yeah, you can't really.
We'll be back. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine.
But you can't lose to the Angels.
Yeah,
you need that. You need that win.
And some other scores from a different sport.
Mm-hmm.
If we have any lacrosse fans,
shout out! I saw Justin Kohler. He texted me happy birthday. It's my birthday, by the way.
Oh wait! Happy birthday, Matt! Should our special guest say it from across the room?
He didn't say it. Yeah, he said it.
You guys heard that.
Thank you.
That's a clue on who our guest is.
But yeah, if you recognize that. But Justin Kohler, I saw posted the Notre Dame lacrosse championship on his story. So shout out to him, I guess.
Notre Dame beats Maryland 15-5 in the lacrosse Natty Championship.
Dominant. Back-to-back champions, by the way. Yeah.
I heard Pat McAfee talking about they won a championship.
Yeah, they won the championship. We've lots of championships to talk about. Let's talk about the Western Conference Championship. The Timberwolves stayed alive, 105-100. Let's go. Actually, we're gonna talk about NHL, but first, before we even get to lock of the day, I just want to talk about the Western Conference Finals real quick.
We have to.
Let's just transition into it. Let's talk about it real quick. I feel like we've been talking about basketball too much on this podcast.
I agree.
But Game 4. But what else? Like, it's the most fun thing to talk about.
So much stuff is going on.
Karl Anthony Towns, solid 25 points, 69% shooting, including 2 for 4. So
I mean, we were talking about how like he's been under par recently the last 3 games, and he really stepped up this time. If he keeps going like this, I could see the T-Wolves winning a couple more games.
Yeah, I could see. I don't know if they have a chance. Do you think they have a chance?
I mean, I always like saying a team has a chance when they're down 3-0 because who doesn't want that to happen? But it's never happened in NBA history.
Yeah, 0-100. So for some context, the Timberwolves were down 3-0. They lost 3 straight games to the Mavericks in a best-of-7 series. So they would have to win all 4 games in a row.
But remember, LeBron, when he came back from 3-1, no team ever did that. Nope. They thought it was impossible back then.
In the finals.
In the finals, yeah. So I'd love to see it. Anthony Edwards, I mean, who doesn't love him? Shout out Connor Hayes.
Yeah, shout out Connor Hayes.
Shout out Connor Hayes. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to see those guys perform.
Well, I think the Mavericks are just too shaky. I don't think they've been consistent. So Karl Anthony Towns is the biggest example of this. We have worst player and best player from this series. And our worst player for the series for the first 3 games. We did this before the game last night.
We did.
Our worst player was clearly Karl Anthony Towns.
Clearly.
Fabe, just tell the fans why.
I mean, just these stats are just
awful.
Scary to look at.
Yeah.
Game 1, 38 minutes. 0 for 8 from 3. This guy, people are saying he's the best 3-point shooting center of all time. And he goes 0 for 8 from 3? That's awful.
He's the reason they lost that game.
Jesus, he's looking like
he's the reason
out there.
He's probably the reason they were 0. They could have been 3-0 if he would have played. They probably would have swept, honestly, if he had a good series.
He did have 11 rebounds that first game, though, so he was getting boards, though. But second game, 1 for 5 from 3, 4 from 16 from the field, only 25% from the field. Yeah. I mean, give me a break.
I mean, we got to be better. And he only played 26 minutes because of how bad he was playing.
It's awful. He's a superstar. He should be a superstar.
He's got to be better.
Game 3, 6 for 20 from the field and 2 for 9 from 3. I mean, you remember the movie Thunderstruck with Kevin Durant when the kid touched the ball and Kevin Durant lost his powers? Yep. Did this happen to Carl Anthony?
He must have lost his powers.
But he got them back last game.
Yeah, he did. Let's talk about role reversal in last game. Kyrie Irving only 16 points, which was what Kat had in Game 3, on only 33% shooting, which almost exactly what Kat had.
Maybe Kyrie touched the ball.
Thunderstruck, yep.
Maybe that's happening. Maybe
they reversed their powers. But Kat, we talked about 25 points, 69% shooting, 2 for 4 from 3, 50%. They need that from Kat if they want a chance to come back and win this series. If they have any chance.
If he keeps playing like that, and Gobert keeps playing some great defense, and Anthony Edwards keeps scoring, and all the guys just keep playing how they played last night, I could see this getting fun.
It's not impossible. And I was going for the I've been going for the Mavericks the first 3 games I was going for the Mavericks, but in that 4th game I was going for the Timberwolves for the sole purpose of I want more basketball. Because this series has been so much fun. And you look at the games, they've all the Mavericks only had a net point differential of 13 points after 3 wins. It's been such a close series. And I just want to watch these guys play more. And Luka Doncic has been so clutch. Anthony Edwards had a good game last night. Kat finally had a good game. And the Wolves really deserved a win last night. And I'm glad to see that they got it. But we said we're not going to talk about basketball for too long, so
we have some more basketball.
Yeah, we'll talk about the other series.
About those frauds.
Yeah, we mentioned it before, but we got to keep talking about it because it's despicable to see what they're just robbing. They're robbing the East.
It's awful to watch.
It's
okay. So
disgraceful to basketball.
Some people's favorite segment, the lock of the day.
Love it. So for those addicts out there, I don't think they're listening to us on gambling advice, but if they are, then
my lock of the day: Dodgers coming off 2 wins against the Mets. I think they get another one tonight at -120.
I like it.
Yeah, our special guest.
Our special guest does not like that.
Very happy. But the Mets are starting David Peterson. It is his first game back this year, and last year he had over a 5 ERA. And he's coming back from hip surgery. I just don't see him performing tonight against that great Dodgers lineup. Dodgers pitching James Paxton, sub 3.5 ERA. I don't see a way the Dodgers lose this. The Dodgers have a great record, one of the best teams in the MLB this year. Top 5 easily, I think. And I think if you're a betting man, that -120 for the Dodgers is looking sweet.
Do not bet on the Mets. That is one piece of advice I would give you. Do not bet on the Mets. My bets also baseball. Pretty much the only thing happening tonight. Other than some WNBA, which we're not talking about today, but
we'll talk about it soon.
Caitlin Clark. First of all, Caitlin Clark, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 3 steals, I believe.
I think she heard our washed allegations.
Only I believe 4th player in WNBA history to do that. Jeez. First player to do it in her rookie year.
She's settling in.
So we said it was going to take a while. We were wrong because it's not taking a while.
Did the Indiana Fever win?
I don't think so.
I had it wrong.
Yeah, they lost. I'm pretty sure.
They really sold my.
But she was good, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. No one's actually watching.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, no one's.
Go to the locker room.
No one's watching for them.
No, stop, man.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. So.
Birthday boy's a little hyper today. Okay, lock of the day. Let's go, man. Tell them
so, I have the Orioles -205. I think the Orioles came off a loss last night. They've been red hot this year. They lost to the Red Sox. They're not going to lose to the Red Sox again. The Red Sox are not a good team. One good game, but the Orioles will be back, and they will win that.
Shout out, Ratty, by the way.
I just he's a bandwagon. I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably. How did he become a Celtics fan? Did he live in Boston?
I don't think so.
Maybe he did.
Young kid.
Well, you never know. But Yeah, they're fraudulent.
All right, Matt.
So again, for some context, I want to give some context. The Celtics are going to the championship. To play the winner of the Mavs Wolves. Probably will be the Mavs, but we don't want to jump the gun on that.
Do not want to.
But the Celtics beat the Pacers without Halliburton. The Pacers' best player. The Heat, we've already talked about this, but the Heat without Jimmy Butler and the Cavs without Donovan Mitchell.
I mean, they have a cakewalk.
Absolute cakewalk. They walked over cake.
They did.
They just completely walked over cake, which actually doesn't really sound that easy to do.
No, it sounds. They might steak in it. It depends how big the cake is, of course.
If it's like solid cake, it might be easy. But
but what if it's like really like deep, like a
like if it's one of those like smushy or ice cream cake and it's like getting all over you. Oh no! Oh god. Anyways, they had like a very solid cake, like concrete cake. They're walking on concrete cake.
Yep, frozen
to the finals.
It's been in the freezer for years.
Yeah. Well, a lot of years. At this point. It's never thawing. Nope. So
I mean, they're taking that cakewalk to the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse right now.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not get sidetracked.
Oh, I'm getting.
So yeah, you are. So Pacers did not score for the last 3 minutes and 33 seconds of Game 4. Awful. Not a single point. Giving Boston time to win that game.
They were up then, too.
They were up. I believe Boston went on a 13-2 run at the end.
Disgusting.
Because the Pacers could not score. And they really needed Halliburton down the stretch. He's such an underrated player because of what he does for that team. He really slows down the game and gets guys open. And Halliburton, I mean, not Halliburton,
every team
McConnell.
Halliburton,
yeah, they really do.
McConnell, he's a good player.
McConnell was good.
Halliburton just like, he's going to be a star in the next 10 years.
Exactly. He's still young, too. His size and his shooting and his athleticism. This Pacers team, future's looking bright there.
Really great future. Young team. Without their star, they're keeping all these games against Boston close, except one of them. But Boston's like, those players are in their prime right now in Boston. Yeah. And the Pacers are so young. And if they keep just building on this team and like developing their guys, keeping them in Indiana, I could see them being a championship contender for the next couple of years.
With Coach Rick Carlisle, he has those guys running. He has them playing defense. I mean, he has them doing everything they have to. It's really, this is a team that we're going to be looking at next year. They're going to be contenders, and people are going to be. Well, yeah, but I'm saying next year. I think people are going to be saying this is an NBA Finals team. So that's going to be the expectation. Indiana, yeah, it's going to be. Yeah. I'm going to be in Indiana, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
See, but we really hope those Celtics play a healthy team in the finals, so they can actually get a taste of some real basketball, which they haven't had really.
But let's talk about, even though it was obviously not that hard of a series, it still was a pretty hard series. I mean, the Celtics still are great. all the games were they're a great team, but all the games were close. So you can't say like it was just an absolute cakewalk for the Celtics. So let's look at the players that got the job done for the Celtics and the players that didn't get the job done for the Pacers. So first of all, let's start out worst player from the Pacers. Go.
Aaron Nesmith. I mean, young player, but the lights were too bright for this kid. After scoring 10 points per game on 52% shooting against the Knicks and 1 turnover per game, which is pretty good for his role. These were his stats in Game 3 and Game 4 of the series. Game 3, 34 minutes, 4 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 for 4 from the field, and 0 for 2 from 3. I mean, in 34 minutes, he's just like having a Tony Snell type.
Well, this is the problem for the Pacers. Yeah, Tony Snell. But they just don't have. I don't think they had the expectations this year to be good. So their players are kind of just like players that have never really been to this level before and have no experience.
This Pacers team, will be here a lot in the next couple of years. I could see them going to the playoffs.
A guy that really been in the situation that Aaron Nesmith is in now, Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
He has been the worst. He has been the guy that has ruined it for the Celtics. And now he's the guy.
This series.
He's now the guy that's doing it for the Celtics. All right, so let's just go to some hockey real quick. We haven't talked enough hockey yet.
I mean, hockey's fun to watch.
I personally love hockey. Going to hockey games is electric.
I've never been. Really want to.
I went to an Army Mercyhurst game, and it was pretty electric. I think Army won, that was who I was going for.
Well,
gotta love.
We're talking about that Rangers game. Yeah. Beating the Panthers in overtime, 5-4.
And then last night, Panthers beat the Rangers in overtime. 2 back-to-back overtime games. What a series!
That's electric.
What a series! It's tied. The series tied 2-2 right now.
Crazy.
It's been a very good series to watch, and this is really like some of the first like hockey I've watched, and I feel like I'm just getting like I feel like I'm gonna become a hockey fan just because of how good this series has been.
I mean, we got to talk about Sam Reinhart with that power play goal to win the game.
Great
for
goal.
The Rangers.
But I want to talk about Igor Shesterkin. I believe that's how you say that. The Rangers goalie. Rangers goalie. The Rangers defense has been awful this series. Mm-hmm. They have been lucky to win these games because let's talk about in the game they won, Game 3, Rangers had 23 shots on goal. Panthers had 37. If that happens, the Panthers should win that game easily.
Most situations they should, but with a guy like Igor in goal,
he's the reason.
They are lucky to have this guy.
They would not be where they are right now.
Back there.
But I think the luck is going to run out for the Rangers, and I think eventually all these shots on goal, Shesterkin's getting tired back there. He cannot do this. He cannot keep all these pucks out of the net for every game. He's going to get tired eventually. I think Panthers are going to end up winning this series just because of just because of the sheer volume of how many shots the Panthers get up. Unless the Rangers defense can start getting the puck away from the goal and start putting the attack back on the Panthers, like they have to put some pressure on the Panthers, or they're not going to be able to keep doing this.
Igor's been doing this for a while. He has for a while. He has. Rangers coming off this huge win last night. I think they have the adrenaline right now. They have the momentum, and I think they're going to win this series and go to the Stanley Cup.
I don't. You think the Panthers?
No,
the Rangers. I had it.
The Rangers beat the Panthers.
No, the Panthers beat the Rangers in overtime.
Oh, I had a little brain fart, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had a mishap there, but
it glitched.
But the Panthers are gonna win the Stanley Cup. Just so you know.
Hockey's not our main thing.
No, hockey's not our main thing. We'll get that taken care of. But just real quick, going over the Western Conference Finals. 2 nights ago, Stars beat the Oilers 5-3. And Robertson had a hat trick to get him out of his scoring slump. Hadn't scored in the last 10 games, and a huge game for him to get 3 goals to get his confidence up. And hopefully he's going to be effective for the Stars from now on and be able to get the Stars over the hump and get them into the Stanley Cup. But my question for you. So the Oilers went empty net. They took their goalie out of the net with 3 minutes left in the game, down 4-3. What do you think about that decision?
So listen, if it was a tie game or they were up, I would not understand it. But they're down. Okay, yeah. They need a goal there. Mm-hmm. So if the other team scores, then it's the same thing. That team's down. But if they score there, then they tie the game up. Then he can go back and goal, and that's an even match. So. Yep. I do understand it. They need a goal there. They'll do anything for that goal.
Yeah, and really, I thought the thing was that I don't know who it was on the Stars, but some guy made an amazing goal. I think it might have been Robertson, actually. He made an absolutely outstanding full court, full ice, whatever it's called, goal to make it 5-3. And if he misses that, I think the Stars or the Oilers still have like a minute and a half left of one extra guy on the ice.
Oh, and also Sam Reinhart is on the Panthers and not the Rangers. Technical difficulty.
Yeah, no, I said Sam Reinhart scored. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Just letting the fans know.
All right, yeah. We had a really big glitch that lasted a few minutes. Don't know what happened there. Oh my god, we gotta buy new equipment. Sorry, guys. But now
it's time.
We're gonna get away from hockey because it has not been good.
We're going into football with our first special guest, Joey Barbuto.
The biggest dog I've ever met in my life.
Absolute animal.
Can't say enough about him.
Papa squat.
So Joey Barbuto, future running back. After he was a center and a nose guard at the Halla, and he is about 160 pounds. And he was the biggest dog because he had no business being a center or a nose guard. But he was because he could do whatever he wanted to do. Now he's going to play running back at SUNY Maritime.
That's great to hear.
So, college athlete, great guy to have in here to talk about some football. And we're going to start out. What is your favorite memory of playing football so far?
My favorite memory, I always love the double sessions because it's everyone on the team, whole day. You know, we have lunch together. We have a lot of fun, you know, and we just work as hard as we can. You know, that's really when we get better.
I love that because I love the double sessions too. Personally, I just love everything about it. You get home, you're like, oh my god, I'm exhausted, but that was awesome. Like I worked so hard.
I also love the double sessions.
All right, well you weren't on the football team, so that doesn't make sense. But eating lunch with the boys, the team bonding, you just become so close with that group of guys.
It sounds like a great time.
It is a great time.
So I have another question for you, Joey. So, what does playing college football mean to you?
That means a lot to me. I mean, I've worked so hard to be as good as possible in high school, so to be able to continue that at the college level is fantastic. That is great, and also to be able to actually get the ball. That'll be fun too.
Yeah. I would not want to be in Joe's side.
I don't want to be on the other side of that. Derrick Henry-esque.
Yeah. Well, come on. Let's relax a little bit. All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
But how were you able to become how did you get to that level of grinding every day? What inspired you to get to the point where you just wanted to be so great at football and just wanted nothing else but to be the best you can possibly be?
I mean, I was always like a smaller kid, like in middle school, and that I don't know, that gave me a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, made me really want to be good at something that was physical, be like stronger than everyone else. So that drove me to play football, and then the practices every day, working as hard as I could. Like that was great, but I think even if I had done that and nothing else, I might have been in the same place. What really made the difference was going home and practicing at home. Huge shout out to my dad and my brother for holding the shields as I drove them across the yard, and as they caught my snaps as well. That was big shout out to them.
Well, I just want to say, I remember last year, I would go to the turf because I was trying to get better at football too, obviously, and Joe would always be there. Like literally, I couldn't go to the turf. I remember one time we were at the turf and I think we had already been practicing for like an hour. Like we had already been like running routes, doing whatever you're doing, like hitting the pad. He bought a pad, of course, to just hit because that's who he is. But we were done, and Joe was like, "All right, let's just do one more thing. Let's do special teams work." And the special teams work was I went on the 25, he went on the 35, and he said go, and I would just run. You just run, you sprint. And you couldn't not sprint because Joe wouldn't let you not sprint. And we ran down the whole field, and he would have to stay in front of me.
75 yards.
75 yards. Whole field. And I would sprint. And
how many times did you do this, man?
8 times. We ran down the whole field. And then I would stay in front of him. And because he didn't care what he had to do to be great. He just wanted to be great. And that's what I love about Joe. He really inspired me to work hard too. So thank you for that.
That means a lot, Matt. Thank you so much.
Well, it meant a lot to me at the time. So we were supposed to have Ryan Chillo here too.
Yeah.
But he's too busy for us. He's too cool.
He's too big time.
He's too cool to be on the Lucky 7's podcast.
So Joey, we have a question
for you. He's too big time.
He can't be here.
Too big time.
So this isn't about your college football. But this is more NFL. What is your Super Bowl predictions for next year?
It's the Green Bay Packers. Okay.
Joke.
You know it.
I don't hate it.
Jordan Love will be the MVP of the league, and he will take the Packers to a Super Bowl victory.
Fraud.
Can't wait to watch the 49ers beat them in the playoffs. It's going to be very fun.
No.
Very fun to watch.
No, not again.
What? I was with Joey when the Packers lost the
Oh my god, I remember. To the 49ers. Do you remember that?
I do remember. We told Joey, and he was silent in the car ride.
Oh, because we thought
eating his hashtag in silence.
We thought the Packers were actually going to win.
We were excited for Joey.
They were the 7th seed going against the 1 seed, and they lost 24-21.
And can I say,
super close game.
Can I say that Cowboys game was very satisfying to watch? I loved it. It was like 47-16 at one point.
Yeah. Very satisfying. That was oh my god.
Because as a Giants fan, I hate the Cowboys.
Don't like those guys.
Yeah, I hate the Cowboys as well. Packers always beat them, though. They always beat them.
I love the Packers for that. All right, so last thing, what are your
Say the question.
Do you have dreams to go to the NFL?
I mean, if it comes around, absolutely, I would take the opportunity. It's certainly not something that it might not be possible, but I will work as hard as I can to get there.
We know you will.
Yeah, we know. We know. Well, that's really all we had for you. One last thing we want to talk about. What do we think about the Mets season this year?
Yeah, I didn't like Fabian's lock of the week, but the sad thing is I actually agree with it. I would do that. the Mets are just playing so poorly offensively. Their bullpen has really failed in some games as of late.
Edwin Diaz. Oh my God.
I mean, I think it's time to really just sell out the team and start a rebuild. I mean, it's very painful because they're losing close games, but they're losing them, in the ninth inning. They're losing
that first
them
game last
in
night,
bad ways.
That?
Yeah.
3-3 going into the last inning.
Yep.
And they had bases juiced, I believe. 3-0 count, 1 out.
Yes, they did.
And they did not do it.
They didn't do anything with it.
Yeah. It's a very unfortunate situation down there in Queens. It's sad to be a fan right now.
It's great to be a fan.
But hey, listen. The Mets, they will come back.
I don't think so.
They always come back.
They always come back.
I don't know what Mets you're watching.
Yeah, oh boy.
Pirates are better.
No.
You don't think so? I think the Pirates Mets series in the playoffs. I think the Pirates will win. Paul Skeens. I think the Pirates will next year, not this year.
Yeah, next year.
I think the Pirates have a good future, way better than the Mets. Mets have no future.
The Mets probably should rebuild, so maybe
Beatty, that's a good young piece.
That is a good young piece. I don't like Jeff McNeil right now. I think he's got to get traded. I think he's got to go.
Those guys are just getting old.
Yeah, they are. I don't know what I don't even know about Alonso anymore. I think he might have to go. Lindor, of course, is on this huge long-term deal, so I don't know if it's possible for him to go, but he is not playing very well. Yeah. Brendan Nimmo also signed, I think, like a 12-year extension this past offseason.
We all know how Edwin Diaz is doing.
Yeah. I love those baseball contracts where you just see a guy get signed for 12 years. Like he's gonna be there for the rest of his career. It's crazy. Like what is? Ohtani. Yeah, I was about to say Shohei Ohtani. What's he on?
I think it's over 10 years. I believe.
Yeah, I believe.
And like $700 million.
It's just.
I mean, you're set for life.
Oh my God.
Well, then you bet it all and lose it, and then blame it on your translator.
Yeah, blame it on the translator.
So that's not ideal.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, we won't talk about. Maybe that'll be a story time one day.
All right, Joey, it's always a pleasure having you here.
Oh, dude, anytime you want to come.
Anytime.
Our doors are open.
Our doors are open.
We would love to have you talk some baseball. Is there any closing comments?
Thank you so much. Absolute honor to be here with these two guys, these two legends. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Joey.
If Robinson wants to be on the podcast too, talk wrestling maybe. I don't know. Whatever Robinson wants to talk about.
Okay, so Joey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, man.
Hey, thank you,
much, guys. Thank you.
We will see you.
Absolute pleasure to have him on. Let's move swiftly on to college baseball. We've talked about it a little bit.
Well, let's talk about these conference championships.
Mm-hmm.
Big 12, Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma 9-3.
Rivalry game right there.
Big rivalry.
I want to talk about Big 10 because I was looking at the tournament schedule, and I'm obviously going to Indiana, and I saw that Penn State was playing Indiana in the championship game. So I'm a little confused when I'm looking at my sheet, and I'm seeing Nebraska beat Penn State. So I look it up. And somehow there was like a loser's bracket thing, and Nebraska won 2 straight games against Indiana. So Nebraska goes on to the Big Ten championship.
The college bracket's really
it's confusing. I mean, I thought I knew everything about it, and then I see Nebraska won the Big Ten. But shout out to them for doing that. Not happy about it.
All right. So the Pac-12 finals, we will talk about the Pac-12 later. Arizona beats USC 4-3.
Yep.
In the SEC finals, Tennessee beats LSU 4-3. Tennessee. Not surprising they won, but LSU making a great run to the finals as an 11 seed and only losing by 1 run against a star-studded Tennessee team.
Yeah, shout out to them. They're a threat to win the championship. After losing Paul Skeens
and Dylan Cruz.
Still
a star-studded team.
Yeah, love to see it.
So I'm excited to see them in the College World Series.
Yeah,
exciting. So the ACC, Duke beats Florida State 6-5.
Good win for them. Florida State,
close game.
A team that I think has a chance to win it all. But good win for Duke. Maybe we'll see good things out of Duke in the College World Series.
College World Series coming up, and me and Matt would love to share our picks to win it, and also some sleeper picks to win it.
Yeah, we got some good sleeper picks here.
So, my 2 picks to win it all, just my basic picks, are Tennessee, really star-studded team all around. We all know about Tennessee baseball.
SEC champs.
They're great.
Can't really knock it.
And my other pick is Wake Forest. Best pitching in college baseball. I mean, just
I don't see Wake Forest going very far.
Okay.
I don't think they were in a very hard. I think the SEC was a lot better. I think an SEC team's gonna win.
Watch.
No, I think an SEC team is bound to win. It's just destiny.
Got it. My two.
You're wrong. Just so
my
the
two
viewers know.
sleeper picks. First off, I got ECU, Eastern Carolina University. I think they're the sneakiest team in this tourney. 3 pitchers with a 3.66 or below ERA, and 4 guys batting over 341. At plus 2,000, I don't see how you don't pick them as one of the teams to win it all. I mean, those are just great odds.
I could see how you don't pick them.
Okay, we always. Yeah, I'm excited to hear you talk about DBU.
DBU, Defensive Back University.
So plus 2,000, those are great odds for this team. Very good team. And my other sleeper pick is UC Irvine. 7-1 in their last 8 games, including a 9-6 win over UCLA. This team is red hot right now, and at plus 5,500, they're a great sleeper pick. Put a buck on them.
I must be missing. I must not see where UCLA is. Moolah. I must be missing where UCLA is in the College World Series.
They're a good team.
They're not in the College World Series.
They're a good team. Oh yeah. I'm excited to see DBU.
Okay, well I'll talk about DBU. So my sleeper pick is DBU. Let's talk about plus 9,000.
What a joke.
I've been watching them all year personally. And they've had a hard schedule. They've had some great gritty wins. They beat the Pac-12 champions Arizona, the Big 12 champions Oklahoma State twice. One game was 14-4. They beat Alabama. They beat Big 12 runner-up Oklahoma. They beat Louisiana Tech 8-3 and 17-10. All those teams will be in the College World Series.
They're not ready for the bright lights. DBU.
Look at all the teams they beat.
Okay.
Bright lights.
This is the College World Series we're talking about now.
But those were in the bright. Those were all great teams. So now they're just playing those teams, but on a bigger stage. I mean, this team has the swagger. You watch them. You watch the dugout. They have the swagger to win this thing, and I don't know if they're gonna win it, but don't be surprised if you see them in the Final Four. I think easily this team make it out first 2 rounds, make it into the Super Regionals. I think this team could do some damage, and if they get hot, if they get the bats going, don't be surprised if DBU is the national champions. The champions. What is it, champion?
I'd be really surprised.
Champion? Yeah, well, you're wrong. So. No, but honestly, like, I do see how you could be surprised. Because they're plus 9,000. Like, it's a sleeper pick. But I really do think they can do some damage.
It's lose your money. You're donating to
whatever betting
site.
Guys, put DBU right now. This is a great team, gritty team.
Good donation. It's going
no, it's not a donation. Trust me. This team could get hot and get you some real money. All right? This is some real money right here. Yeah. All right, let's go.
Do I see you promoting?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, if you were so inclined. So let's go. My actual picks, Tennessee. They're kind of boring picks, but that's what it's supposed to be. It's my actual pick. I agree with Fabe on Tennessee. They're an amazing team. They beat LSU. They're #1 team in the country. How could you not pick them?
I don't know. And let's talk about an overrated squad here.
No. LSU. LSU's on my other pick.
You already spoke about it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You just
did. I? Oh, well, LSU won 7 of their last 8. Beat the #1 team in the country by 1 run. Or no, lost the #1 team in the country by 1 run. This team, reigning champs, they got the experience. They did lose some players. They obviously lost the 2 best players in the country, but they're just as good right now. Just as good of a chance to win this year as they did last year. And then not just as good, but they still have a great chance to win.
All right, now let's talk about the overrated squad. Arkansas. They have the 3rd best odds. If you look online, 3rd best odds. And this team has a 7-8 road record. I don't think they'll do well at these bright lights.
Well, because eventually you're going to have to go away from home.
And they're scared to. They're homesick.
They're not even a winning team on the road.
I mean, that's a sick joke.
Yeah.
3rd best odds, you have a losing
3rd best
record?
odds?
Come on.
I mean, who made that? Who made those odds? They got to get fired.
Probably someone who doesn't know.
Yeah, they didn't look at the road record, I guess. Because I was thinking I was going to put them. I liked a lot of what I saw from them. I was going to put them as a team. Looked at the road record and I said,
don't lie.
I can't see this team winning. I don't see it.
Me neither.
I don't see them winning. Do not pick Arkansas.
We talked about the Pac-12 championship, so I'll let you speak about your beloved Pac-12.
I do love the Pac-12. So Saturday night, Arizona USC Pac-12 championship for baseball was the last Pac-12 game we'll ever see. In this game, Arizona's Tommy Splain hit a walk-off single to win the Pac-12 championship over USC. Just an amazing way to end the Pac-12 Conference of Championships. Conference of Champions. I'm sorry. Champions. From Washington's national championship football run to Colorado's game winner in March Madness to Splain's walk-off Saturday night, it has been an amazing year for Pac-12 sports. but it's bittersweet, obviously, because the Pac-12 is no longer. I remember when I was a kid, I used to stay up until 1 a.m. to watch Pac-12 football games because they're obviously West Coast time, so they were always later in the night. Even though I'm a Penn State fan, I've been a Penn State fan my whole life, the Pac-12 really does hold a special place in my heart. And now a lot of the Pac-12 teams will be coming to the Big Ten and will play Indiana and Penn State, who are the two teams I'm fond of. So the Pac-12, for some context, the Pac-12 will be disassembling for monetary reasons. Every university in the Pac-12 but Oregon State and Washington State will be moving to different conferences on account of the bigger contracts, monetary-wise, they can get in those conferences. And so the Pac-12 kind of just fell apart. So now the big question is, where do Oregon State and Washington State go? I don't really know, honestly. I don't think the answer is out yet. But it would be cool to watch. Just them, they play every week.
Every week.
Just every week is Oregon State, Washington State. They just live at each other's universities.
That would be really
crazy. But like for football, you think like every week like they play like okay. But for basketball,
just every
30 games of just Washington State, Oregon State. I mean, they wouldn't know each other inside out by that point. I mean, they should just combine teams at that point.
They should, yeah.
It's just like they're practicing pretty much. I think that would be hilarious, but obviously that's not going to happen.
It wouldn't work.
So they're expected to join the less prestigious Mountain West Conference. So if you're not familiar, conferences, every school, there's conferences for sports, and they're usually about 12 to 18 teams. The Pac-12 was a conference with 12 teams all on the West Coast, and they'll now be splitting up into 3 different conferences. And ironically, Stanford and the University of California will be going to the ACC, which is the Atlantic Coast Conference. And Stanford and California are about as far away from the Atlantic Coast as you could possibly get. I mean, you might as well put like China University in it.
China University?
Yeah, because that's about as close to the Atlantic Coast as Stanford. So it just makes no sense. But it's all for money, so it doesn't really matter if it makes sense. But let's not talk about money. Let's talk about the great history of the Pac-12. 561 NCAA championships. 200 more than any other conference in history. 16 basketball championships, mostly UCLA. 29 NCAA basketball championships. More than 2,300 individual crowns. Stanford, which is a university that was in the Pac-12, won 26 consecutive Directors' Cups, an award given to the school with the most prestigious athletics and academics combined. Very impressive from Stanford. Great school. Not a sponsor, but great school.
No, we're not a sponsor.
And it had many legendary players such as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from UCLA, Bill Walton from UCLA. Rest in peace to Bill Walton.
Rest in peace, yeah.
All-time
Rest
great
in peace to him.
person.
Great
athlete,
guy, great player, just all around.
All around amazing person. Yep. Mark McGuire, first baseman from USC. Barry Bonds, outfielder from Arizona State. John Elway, quarterback from Stanford. O.J. Simpson, running back from USC. Aaron Rodgers, quarterback from Cal.
That's high praise for this conference.
And Tony Gonzalez, tight end from Cal.
Mm-hmm.
It truly earned the nickname Conference of
On some of the favorites to win the Heisman.
All right, so first of all, the Heisman Trophy is the most prestigious award in probably all of college sports.
I agree.
It is given to the best college football player every year. But even though it's just a college football award, like I don't think any college award is more famous than the Heisman Trophy.
I don't think so either.
Although it's given to a quarterback like 99% of the time. So the 4
Reggie
favorites.
Bush, just got it back.
Yeah, about that. Sure, I did hear about that. Huge because he deserves it.
You know?
Yeah, he deserved the trophy. I mean, because now, literally everyone was doing what he did. He just got caught.
Look at Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, he literally committed to it.
Yeah.
I confessed. Not committed.
To it?
Well, he did commit to it at the time, but anyway, the favorites for the quarterback position, which are the favorites in general. Carson Beck, quarterback from Georgia. Overrated. He's overrated. He had a great team last year. 2 amazing receivers to throw the ball to, and he had a great year. 3,941 yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's not going to do that again.
I don't think so.
He doesn't have the team. He lost his 2 best receivers. He's not going to be as great this year. So do not pick him, even though he's the favorite. Quinn Ewers, quarterback from Texas. He had a great year last year as well. He also lost his 2 best receivers. So I still think he's a good. I think he is genuinely a good quarterback, but he lost his two best receivers too. But 3,478 yards last year, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Pretty good year. I expect similar numbers from him, unlike Carson Beck. Dylan Gabriel, at Oklahoma last year had 3,660 yards, 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 373 yards. I think a great year from him. He's going to Oregon this year. Even better weapons at Oregon. I expect him to be great.
I also expect him to be great out there.
And Will Howard, quarterback, was at Kansas State last year, going to Ohio State. 2,643 yards, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions last year to go with 351 rushing yards. Not a great year compared to the other 3 guys, but I don't know. Maybe he's maybe he's just gonna blossom this year into something great. I don't know why he's so high in the favorites. Do you want to talk about some of the non-quarterbacks? Because I feel like everyone wants to see a non-quarterback because quarterback wins it so much.
That, you know? So, the first one is Travis Hunter, and he's not just one position; he's 2. Yeah. Cornerback / wide receiver out of Colorado, playing under Coach Primetime. He is one of the few D1 players who plays both offense and defense. I mean, that just shows his amazing stamina. Yeah. And he's great on both ends. Like some of his stats, 721 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, and also on the defensive end, 30 tackles and 3 interceptions, 5 pass breakups in only 9 games.
9 out of 12. So if he plays all 12, he probably has...
That's insane.
Probably around 1,000 receiving yards to go along with maybe 4 or 5 interceptions.
Matt, really quick question about him. Not too long, but do you think he'll be able to play both ends of the ball in the NFL?
No. It won't happen. Probably Deion Sanders did it for a little bit, but I think it's just too much, especially in the NFL. Your body gets worn down. The hits are harder in the NFL. You're running faster in the NFL. You can't do it in the NFL.
Very cool, Travis Hunter playing under Primetime.
It really is.
Guys to play both sides of the ball.
Yeah, very similar players. But Travis, and I think it's going to help Travis Hunter take that leap into being a superstar, because Deion Sanders is his coach, kind of a guy that he can kind of what I'm looking for, relate to him, and make him better.
All right, so some other non-QB candidates. We have Ollie Gordon II, a running back out of Oklahoma State. Some of his stats from last year: 1,732 rushing yards. Same thing. Sounds nicer off the tongue. 22 Power 5 receiver or running back to do this. I mean, that's high praise for this guy.
Yeah, he was really good last year. Honestly, should have been. Marvin Harrison was a non-quarterback that had a chance of winning the Heisman. If Oklahoma State actually has a good year next year, there's a very good chance he's going to be a strong candidate. If he keeps playing like this, he has numbers like this, plus Oklahoma State has a good year next year, I think he's easily going to be in Oklahoma State's conference, the Big 12, will both be moving to the SEC because of conference realignment. Oklahoma State probably the favorite to win the Big 12. Yeah, If they win the Big 12 and he puts up numbers like this,
I could big possibility of him.
Heisman candidate easily.
So the last non-QB is Luther Burden III. He helped put Missouri on the football map last year, leading them to end 8th in the country. He's looking to build on an impressive season last year, and if Missouri is as successful next year, I have to recognize him as a main reason for their success. So some of his stats from last year: 1,212 receiving yards and 86 receptions, both 10th in FBS.
Huge.
Also had 9 receiving touchdowns. I mean, and he's playing like that. I mean,
yeah, he's going to be
performing.
I think he's going to be even better next year. I think it's also the swagger he plays with. He's really fun to watch. I think that's going to be a reason that he's a candidate for the Heisman. All right, so Phoebe, why don't you give us your pick for the Heisman?
So my main pick is Quinn Ewers, QB out of Texas at plus 900. We already spoke on him.
Yeah, he had a great year last year.
Very great player. If he plays like how he did last year, he has a very good chance.
He just needs to find the receivers to throw it to, and also a little fire under him is that Arch Manning, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning's nephew, is his backup. So he's got to play good, or else they're gonna put Arch Manning in because he's really good.
So my sleeper pick is Riley Leonard, the QB out of Notre Dame at plus 200. So played at Duke last year. So health is the main concern for this guy, but if he stays healthy, I don't see how he can't be one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He's a great runner, great passer. He can do everything on the field. If he stays healthy, he is a top candidate for the Heisman for me.
I agree with you. I love that pick. For me, Dylan Gabriel had an amazing year last year at Oklahoma. I think I talked about it earlier. He got even better weapons at Oregon. And even though it is a more defensive conference, which will be a problem, I believe Oregon will upset Ohio State next year and will end up winning the Big Ten. And a Big Ten win, probably the hardest, if not second hardest conference in college football, that will boost his like how people see him. He'll look like a better player. And if he puts up the stats he put up last year and he wins the Big Ten, he is the Heisman. Or I think he's going to be even better than next year with the weapons he has. I think this is a Heisman winner right here. And then Travis Hunter is my sleeper pick. His versatility, playing under Deion Sanders, I think he is a Deion Sanders-like player. And if Colorado is able to actually have a good year this year, which I don't know, it's a big what if. Yeah, I don't know about that. But if they are able to have a good year this year and Travis Hunter doesn't get injured, we're going to see him as a strong candidate for the Heisman. Easily. Yep. We're going to see him in New York City. All right, so
we always end off with a nice uplifting story.
And today, Fade,
a throwback story.
A little throwback story. Fade will be the one saying the story this time. A little change of pace. Take it away.
Rudolph, who was born in 1940, was diagnosed with polio as a child. Polio, it's a disease that paralyzes most people. Mm-hmm. We have a vaccine for it now, but back then, you're toast most of the time.
Oh, what was it? FDR, I believe that.
I think so. One of the presidents did.
Definitely one.
In a wheelchair the rest of their life.
Yeah, he was a dog though.
So at the age of 4, she contracted this disease, which weakened her left leg and foot. She went through years of physical treatment and was dedicated to beating this disease. And she ended up beating 3 Olympic gold medals. Wow. In the 100-meter, 200-meter, and 4x100 meter. Wow. Making her one of the greatest to ever do it. I mean, this story just shows how hard work and dedication can really just get you through anything, and you can achieve your dreams no matter what's in the way.
Anything is possible, and it also puts into perspective how lucky you are to be able to walk, to be able to play sports, because sports are such a fun thing to have in your life. Everyone loves to play sports, and you don't realize you get an injury and you can't do what you love. And for people, obviously not everyone loves sports, but for people that love sports, it's such a great thing to see someone who can't walk, they can't play sports, and just the will and the love of sports and the love of doing what you want to do inspires her to play sports again.
Most people will never even make the Olympics, and she made it after having polio.
I mean,
that's just an insane feat.
That's just absolutely amazing.
I think that's a really great way to end this off. I'm Fabian Resica.
I'm Matthew Langlois. Stay hungry,
but also stay humble. Thank you. We'll be back Saturday.
Have a great day. See you, boys.